Hey guys, Second here bringing a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we got the distribution of the Million Arena Preliminary Reward Keys, which basically, as we talked about when this event was announced, the top 100,000 scoring players would receive keys in order to take part in the semi-final of the event. So basically, the event, as you guys know, was live in game. It was just easy to access through the menu, unlimited attempts on the normal version, and there was a single player version that was not ranked that you could use to just practice, although didn't really matter too much because the base version was unlimited attempts as well anyway. And so the goal, obviously, as far as the missions went that we had in game to complete, you could beat all of the missions if you scored 90 million or more points. Now, as we've talked about multiple times already, loads of other people have talked about it. I hate this event. I think it's terrible, awfully designed. It's the punch bag event, but just worse because the punch bag can actually kill you. So you can finally get the rotation set up exactly how you need it to score 99 million points, and then you die. And so you just don't actually get the score and you have to start all over again. I was resetting for over an hour and a half on the first day before I even got a chance to actually record for a video. So I think the event is terrible. Now, what's funny about this, and the whole point of the video, is that I only got 94 million points. And I say only, obviously I beat all the missions. I got the 90 million was the max one. But I got 94 million, and I know loads of other people got the full 99,99999, right? Now, that is a visual cap in the game. You actually do more damage than that, but you just don't get to see it. You only see, once it goes above that 999, that's all you see, right? But the game obviously knows exactly how much you've done, because that's exactly how much HP the enemy boss would lose, right? So I was thinking, oh yeah, all those people that get the 999, some of them are going to have done quite a decent bit over that as well. So 94 million is probably not enough, right? You've probably got to be one of the top 90, the top 999 people to actually be able to get in, right? Now, interestingly enough, of course, that was not the case. So I received my keys earlier today when we got our login bonuses. And you could definitely call me very confused. So I thought, okay, well, I guess it was a bit lower than I expected. Maybe just being able to clear the 90 million missions was all you had to do in order to get the keys, and not many people managed to get quite that far. However, it's been a bit more interesting, and the news has developed, and hence I thought I'd record this video and talk about it because I think it's kind of funny. So I made this follow-up tweet. I guess people just didn't link their Bandai ID, because I'm seeing people who scored 30 million say that they got in, that they got these keys, right? And there's comments on here. Shout out to our boy Annie, who somehow got unlinked. He commented saying that he even has the mission from way back when for linking his account, so he did it at some point. But yeah, Dr. Pritch, I know someone personally that got 41 million. Someone got over 80 million, that's fine. Scored 40-ish on the single, 80 mil on the other, and I got in. Well, it says I got one. I think he's saying he only got one key, which is weird because you should have got all 200. Somebody didn't bother to do it. Linked to my Bandai account, got 80 million. I think I replied to this one saying, are you sure you did the right one? Because if you did the single player one, you don't get anything for that. But yeah, this guy's saying, I swear I only did 20 million and got them. And then DB7 Dokkan says, I think even 10 million was enough. Many did not link a Bandai account and the event was not popular. Which is true. I've seen a lot of people ragging on it. Most people think it's one of the worst events that the game has ever done, which is pretty fair. But it is kind of funny when you look at two factors. So first, obviously, the thing I said in my tweet, I wonder if a lot of people just haven't ever done this, right? Because you can do it through the game menu. But a lot of people just, I guess, wouldn't have even ever had a Bandai Namco ID. But you can just go through this process to create one and then link it. And then you can take part in these. I mean, there's a couple of things, right? There is a mission in game, so you get stones. Then there's obviously the ranking for this Million Arena. And then, of course, this post is about the fact that we're getting the web store soon. So essentially, you're going to be able to get stones and potentially other in-game things for cheaper than buying them from the in-app shop. And the reason for that is because this goes directly through Bandai, whereas buying stuff in the app itself, like in the shop in Dokkan, prices have to be higher because Google or Apple take a split of that proceed, right? So stones should be cheaper on the web store when it comes out. So they gave a detailed breakdown here of how to do it. But then interestingly enough, I guess maybe there are just a lot of players, newer players or otherwise, that never played the actual punching bag event itself, or just don't really know exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the punching bag event. And I say that because they put up this post. Here are the current most used characters. And number 1 and 2 are the 10th anniversary LRs. So not only are these guys they're not nuking leaders. So if you were using them as the leader for your team, you're not using like the double nuke lead strategy, which is probably the easiest way to hit a high damage number. And if I guess you're only using them for their leader skill, because then the units themselves, bearing in mind this event only goes for 3 turns, which means you only will be in the base Goku or base Vegeta like form, like those guys are not going to be hitting 90 million. So I'm not really sure why so many people will have used these guys, but it is what it is. 3 is Tao. Now that does make sense because Tao obviously has the auto stun, then you can pick up a ton of orbs. If you've got the support and everything, like he just does crazy damage. He's one of the few characters that like you don't necessarily need a nuking setup. And then of course if you do have a nuking setup with him as well, then it just becomes even easier because of the other abilities that he brings to the table. So Tao being on here does make perfect sense. Then we have Bulma, which I guess, I mean, she's support and like orb changing. So I suppose that's fair. I imagine she doesn't get like immediately one shot. I didn't use her, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, I could see that for the support, and same for Glorio. But like none of those last 2 units, like Bulma and Glorio, they're there for the support. They're not a nuke support. They're not making type orbs. And they're obviously not the one doing the damage themselves. So maybe the fact that these are the top 5 used characters maybe gives you an idea why the high scores weren't super, super high overall for the mode. Because, yeah, people being able to get in with such low scores is just absolutely crazy, right? Like, I really thought when this was added in, you know, and it's only the top 100,000. When you think about how many people play Dokkan, I guess it's one thing to have, I guess it's an error to have assumed that just everybody would go ahead and do the account linking. Because with the number of people that played it, I imagine there are a lot of people out there that maybe didn't even read like it properly and just did the 99 million with their account, but they don't have a Bandai ID linked, so they're not getting anything for it. They didn't get any ranking, they didn't get the rewards, and that's what has led to so many people being able to get these keys despite not even hitting like the top score. Like I say, I mean, I managed to get just over 90 million, so when I did see that I got them, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not quite as tight as I thought it would be, because 100,000 people is a lot. But again, when you think of the number of people that played, even if the event itself wasn't that popular, I would have thought there would be a lot more people above, well, even above me, especially above scores like 30 million or like 20 million, which is absolutely crazy. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the semi-final, because I'm assuming, like, there's no way to know, but the top 100,000 people were meant to get these keys. But did 100,000 people even get them? Did 100,000 people even actually get, like... Because could you imagine, I don't know what the lowest score for somebody who's got one is, but if less than 100,000 people actually linked a Bandai Namco ID and played it, even if you did 1 damage, if there was less than 100,000 people linked, that means you would have got in the top 100,000 from doing 1 damage. So I think that is potentially what happened. Like, lots of people just didn't have their Bandai Namco IDs linked. And so this is going to be quite funny for the semi-final, because of course now we can access this stage with these keys. It comes out tomorrow, and you can use the single player one to practice. And then this one is limited attempts because you have to use the keys to do the stage. I don't yet know how many. I don't know if it's 1 per or if it's like 5, 10, because you get 200 of them. And you are limited to who you can use as well. This is the thing. When you go into the semi-final, limited to the number of tries, and then restrictions to the category. You can only use Earthbred fighters for phase 2. So again, if you've got Tau and you've got Tau rainbowed, then that's going to be good. If you get like LRTN, Yamcha's EZA is coming out this week as well. Although the event only runs for a couple of days, I'm not sure, does it? I think Yamcha's EZA might come out in time. But yeah, like, it's going to be very interesting to potentially use the Tau like setup again. But obviously for me, I don't have Tau. I did mine using the STR nuke team with Piccolo, and then using STR LR Tau with a full field of red orbs linked up with Tech Cyborg Tau from the World Tournament. All I can really do is just do that again and hope that I can actually get to like 99 million or higher, because I feel like, you know, now that the 100,000 people have got in, it's not going to be anywhere near as easy to then just auto get the top 30,000 for free, right? Like, it's going to be a lot more difficult this time around when it comes to setting those higher scores. So I guess we will have to wait and see. Let me know what happened to you in this event down below. Did you get the keys? What was the score that you got? I'm really interested to see, of all the people like who comment on this, who actually got the keys, like who got in, but who got the lowest score. Like, I'm really intrigued to see out of all the people on Global. And I'm, you know, maybe the lowest person isn't somebody that's going to end up seeing this video. Maybe it's somebody who isn't even on Twitter, and I won't see a post about it from somebody else. But I just really want to know what the lowest score is that managed to get into the top 100,000 and get these keys, because it's definitely very funny that it has played out like this, considering we all thought it was going to be really difficult and that you were going to have to set a super high score in order to get to the top of these rankings, and it seems very much like that is not the case. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Did you get the 200 keys? What was your score? Let me know your thoughts. I'm definitely not going to be going like super crazy trying to get an insane high score on the semi-final, but we will see what we can do. It would be kind of funny to get through to the final, because in fact it does show on this image, like the final one here, the final stage, like there are stones and Kais, and then of course the unique title. So I guess we'll see how we get on. But like I say, let me know how you guys did. What kind of score did you get and still managed to get the keys? Really want to know who got these keys with like the lowest possible score. So let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.